our founder claims. This right here is an embodied form of the violet ray spectrum. Tap in and tune in Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern, live on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Grand Rising with ChristoLight, your sacred space for discovering the Ascended Masters in crystal healing. Ashe.
Imagine booking a soul session, ordering crystals, and joining a live retreat from your phone. For too long, finding the right healers, the right products, the right community has meant endless searching across scattered corners of the internet. That changes now. The Sacred Kingdom has arrived, an online hub where a worldwide directory of holistic practitioners, readers, life guides, organic makers, musicians, a crystal shop, books, and more are all waiting for you. Book one-on-one sessions, order products, and discover Kingdom members serving locally in your area, all from your fingertips, wherever you are, whenever you're ready. Stay connected to upcoming events and retreats, both online and in person. Tap into a YouTube channel built for real conversation, hands-on holistic learning, and free giveaways. And there's more coming: courses, programs, a holistic recipe book, and the Sacred Kingdom Mystery School Academy mentorship. This is a space built on love, compassion, and the belief that conscious living should be accessible to all walks of life. Visit thesacredkingdom.com, and if you feel called to build from within, email Marcus ChristoLight at marcustut23@gmail.com about joining the Kingdom Council. The Kingdom is open.
Hello, Grand Rising and Grand Day, everyone. Welcome to a new episode of Grand Rising with ChristoLight. Our last episode yesterday, we continued in our Ascended Master sub-series, and we went into the origins and the hidden history of the great Mother Mary. And it was a beautiful adventure of uncovering and revealing more of the real origins and the real archetype that you can connect with and be aware of in your everyday life. We talked about Mother Mary being from the planet Venus, the Venusians. We also talked about her soul journey beyond just being the mother of Jesus, and also her being a representative of the mother Aqua Ray. So it's a beautiful episode. You guys can check that out. Go to the playlist, Grand Rising with ChristoLight, on the YouTube channel, Sacred Light Broadcast Network. Now today I wanted to kick us off with a nice oracle card for the collective from the Egyptian Book of the Dead. And let's see what the oracle has for us today. Today is an interesting day of evolution and growth, but also a lot of deep reflection and contemplation of where we are in our journey. So we're just going to bring in some support for our vision, for our mission, and for our remembrance of our divinity. All right, the card we have is number 40, and it is light, Light, light. Let you guys take a look real quick. Kind of see the light descending onto the king and queen. I'm gonna kind of try to get this a little bit brighter. There we go. See how that does. But yeah, our card is light, Light. Number 40. Okay. Let me see here. Visual effects. There we go. Okay. Yeah, the visual effects was slowing down the stream. But yeah, we have the card Light, number 40 from the Egyptian Book of the Dead. And from the Book of the Dead, light represents dawn, improvement, and happiness. Each new dawn to the ancient Egyptians was a miracle because the sun was reborn from the realms of darkness within the Duat. They tend to believe the sunlight and descended into the underworld to be reborn again. The following day, breaking dawn, was something to be celebrated, and as the light increased during the day, it meant that the sun god Ra was watching over them. It's a lovely card, and it denotes a time of happiness and joy to come. It indicates that a new dawn is about to break out in your life. So no matter how dark or stagnant things might have seemed until now, the card suggests that a new light will shine bright within your life. This light might not happen all at once, but may be more of a gradual glimmer, like the rising sun. Something wonderful is on the horizon for you, a new miracle that brings great joy with it. If you have been feeling in low spirits lately, or nothing seems to have been going according to plan, rest assured that things will improve for you soon. All good things are coming to you now, and you can bask in the golden glow of a new dawn. I would say I very much feel this energy, very present, and very much coming into our fields. That feeling of new light, new opportunities, new growth, new relationships, new connections. And just with that comes the shedding, the letting go, the releasing of old and what is no longer serving vibrationally within our mind, body, emotions, so that we can be the vessel that we wish to be for what it is that we are going to obtain. It's all about embodiment. All right, so that's our oracle message of the day from the Egyptian Book of the Dead Oracle. Embracing that new dawn, that new light that is coming into our life, and being okay with surrendering and letting go, and really acknowledging what does not continue to serve. All right, so before we dive into our text study of the day, which is going to be about the wonderful mystical archetype of Krishna, we're going to go ahead and kick off with a video, and we're going to watch a video about how Krishna taught the multi-dimensional universe more than 5,000 years ago. This is going to be pretty cool. It's going to be a breakdown on Krishna teaching the parallel multi-dimensional universe.
This universe is way more complex and beautiful than what we modern humans imagine it to be. It is the conventional belief that the human civilization is moving towards discovering the real secrets of the cosmos through its thousands of years of evolution. Theories from the likes of Isaac Newton and Albert Einstein have completely changed how we look at the universe and its mechanism. But what if I tell you that there existed an ancient culture thousands of years ago, which was ahead of our modern science in finding out the mind-bending truths about the universe? Today, I am going to tell you about a very intriguing story described in the Bhagavata Puran, an ancient Hindu text, in which Krishna, who is believed to be the incarnation of the Supreme Soul of the universe, reveals a mind-bending secret. There is a unique concept in Hindu philosophy known as the avatar. An avatar is a conscious manifestation of the Supreme Being on the physical plane. In the Vaishnava tradition of Hindu culture, Lord Vishnu is worshipped as the Supreme Soul. He takes incarnation on this planet when order and righteousness is disturbed, and chaos and evil begin to take power. Krishna is the 8th incarnation of Lord Vishnu. The difference between a completely enlightened person and an avatar is that the avatar is conscious of his divine purpose on this planet from the very beginning, while an ordinary person has to practice various spiritual techniques to raise his consciousness to the highest level. Krishna is probably the most famous incarnation in all the Hindu pantheon. In Hindu cosmology, Brahma is the creator of this material universe, and he resides in a higher dimension called Brahma Loka. One of the first surprising things mentioned in the Bhagavata Purana is that time runs with different speeds on different dimensions in the universe. For example, it is written that one day of Brahma is equal to 4.3 billion years on planet Earth, and the night of Brahma is also of equal duration. The life of Brahma is finite, and he also grows old and dies. Then another Brahma is appointed in his place. But there are other dimensions higher than the Brahma Loka, and even Brahma cannot access those dimensions. The highest of all being is the Supreme Being, above whom there exists nothing. Everything happens according to his divine will. So, when the Supreme Being took birth on this physical plane, even Brahma was not sure it was him. He thought that Krishna was just an ordinary human being who enchanted everyone with illusions and deception. So to test Krishna, one day Brahma kidnapped all of his friends while they were playing in Vrindavan, the place where Krishna spent his childhood. Krishna knew what was happening and immediately replicated himself and turned each one into his friends. So to the people of Vrindavan, everything seemed normal. After a while, when Brahma returned to see what was happening, he was shocked to find that all of Krishna's friends were playing with him. He could not understand how was that possible. So he went directly to Krishna and asked him how he did it. At that moment, Krishna revealed something which completely changed Brahma's mind. At that moment, he understood that Krishna was none other than the Supreme Being himself. Krishna said to him that he was aware of his whole plan. He didn't do anything about it because he wanted him to show the truth himself. And the first thing Krishna said to Brahma was that he was not the only Brahma in the universe. Brahma was taken aback after hearing this statement. He said to Krishna that it could not be true, that he created this whole universe, and there is no one equal to him. Then Krishna revealed that this is not the only universe. There exist countless number of universes, each with their own Brahmas. Each universe is floating in the great cosmic ocean, and this universe is just a bubble in that vast ocean. In fact, this concept of our universe can be found depicted in ancient Hindu arts. Look at this picture. Each bubble in this image represents a universe, and the Supreme Being is depicted as Mahavishnu, who is in his divine meditation. This is such a wonderful depiction of cosmology which cannot be found anywhere else in the world. When the world was living in caves, the ancient Indians were talking about multiple universes and time dilation. It is quite surprising to see that the mainstream historians and researchers have not given them due credit for these exceptional discoveries. We hope to bring these amazing truths to light so that everyone could appreciate how advanced and beautiful the ancient cultures of the world were. You can support us in this endeavor by liking this video and sharing it with your friends. Thanks for watching.
All
See if
right.
I can run there after her appointment.
All right. So that was a nice little introduction video into Krishna, and not really like fully in depth into Krishna's journey and, Krishna, the avatar, when it comes to attributes and how you can connect with Krishna. But this is really more so of just an introduction into the kind of teachings that Krishna was able to bring when it comes to understanding the multidimensional universe that we're in. How that there's parallel corresponding planes, and that within each plane there's different beings, different bodhisattvas, different avatars, and things of that nature. So if you're wanting to learn more about the multidimensional universe and the different levels of dimensions, tapping into Krishna text and Krishna consciousness is a great way to acquire on that. All right. So let's go ahead and dive into our text study. Got us some background music. All right, Krishna. All right, Krishna is a divine being, an incarnation of the Godhead, an avatar, and he is one of the most celebrated Indian heroes of all time. When we say Indian, we're talking about Hinduism and the Middle East Indian. He has captured the imagination and devotion of Hindus everywhere in his many forms, whether as a frolicking, mischievous child, as the lover of shepherdess, or as the friend and wise counsel of the mighty warrior Arjuna. Krishna is known as the 8th incarnation of Vishnu, the second person of the Hindu triad. His story is told in the Bhagavad Gita, the most popular religion work of India, composed between the 5th and 2nd centuries BC, part of the great Indian epic, the Mahabharata. When we send devotion to Krishna through mantra and sacred song, we open a highway of our love to the heart of Krishna, and he opens the other half of the highway. He sends back our devotion multiplied manyfold by his. The historical Krishna. Some scholars see Krishna as a historical figure who lived about 650 BC. Sanskrit scholar David Frawley believes that astronomical references in Hindu texts, as well as recent archaeological findings, reveal that Krishna lived as early as 1400 BC. Hindu traditions say Krishna was born in 3102 BC, the beginning of the present age known as the age of Kali Yuga, the age of strife. The name Krishna is derived from the Sanskrit word meaning black or dark blue. He is often depicted as having dark skin, sometimes blue, sometimes blue-black, or black. Information about Krishna comes to us from various Hindu scriptures. They relate detailed episodes from Krishna's life, including his early days as a mischievous child and amorous youth. Most scholars believe that these stories are an embellishment of the historical Krishna. Here are some of the highlights that are recounted. Childhood and youth. So Krishna was born in a region south of Delhi, India. Before his birth, a voice from heaven prophesies that he will destroy his uncle, the wicked King Kamsa. Immediately after Krishna's birth, his father, through divine intervention, smuggles the newborn to live among the cowherds. Kamsa attempts to kill Krishna by sending his henchmen and demons to slaughter all the male babies, but the baby Krishna miraculously slays these demons one by one. As a child, Krishna is brought up by Nanda, the leader of the cowherds, and his wife Yosanda. So you can see like a correlation in this story already between the story of many different animes and different movies and shows, including really even like think of the story of Superman. You know, Superman gets sent away from his home planet because it's about to be destroyed, and he ends up being the lone survivor of his race, basically. And then he comes to the Earth to help the Earth. You can then relate that to Dragon Ball Z with Goku's story, where he's on his planet Vegeta. It's about to be destroyed by Frieza and his family. So then his parents end up sending Goku in a pod down to the Earth. Then he becomes a guardian of the Earth. So similar archetypes. So the Sanskrit word for cowherds is gopas, and female cowherds are gopis. Gopala and Govinda are the names that refer to Krishna as a young cowherd. Gopala means protector of the cows, and Govinda means one who is pleasing to the cows and the senses. What we realize is that this is symbolic of Krishna being the protector of all souls, and also the one who quickens and activates our spiritual senses. Author David R. Kinsley painted the picture of the child Krishna. Krishna's life suggests the freedom of the divine. As a child, Krishna behaves with utter spontaneity. He scrambles around the cowherd village with his elder brother, plays with his own shadow, rolls in the dust, dances to his bangles jingle, eats dirt despite his mother's warning against it, laughs to himself, or sits quiet, absorbed in his own imagining. Krishna passes his time in play, following every whim, acting with calculation, delighting the entire cowherd settlement. As a boy, Krishna was fond of mischievous pranks, such as stealing butter. It's the story of Krishna's butter thefts, based on A.S.P. Iyer's account in his book, Sri Krishna, the Darling of Humanity. Krishna had a host of friends among the cowherd of Nanda's clan. The gopis gave Krishna newly prepared butter, but it was not enough for him and his friends. So he used to go into their houses with his friends and take as much butter as he wanted and distribute it. Many were the complaints made to his mother. She chastised him and asked him to take as much butter as he liked from his own house, but she would not give him enough for all of his friends. But Krishna told his mother that the butter he took stealthily from other houses tasted sweeter. Sometimes the gopis caught him in the act of taking the butter, and they struck him with the churning rods. He received the blows without wincing. This made the tender-hearted gopis atone from their cruelty by giving as much butter as he wanted for himself and his friends. Krishna came to be known as the Fresh Butter Krishna. Interesting. The Fresh Butter Krishna. The butter left after Krishna helped himself had a finer flavor and was much in request among the buyers. They readily paid twice the price and fought for it. The gopis began to complain if Krishna did not go to their houses and help himself. Many gopis watched the great pleasure from behind a door as Krishna and his friends helped themselves to the butter. That's funny how that happens. At first they didn't want him to have butter. Now they're like begging him to have the butter. So Ayara says the symbology of this is that devotees love to watch their offerings being accepted by the Lord. Butter is significant to Hindus. Clarified butter, called ghee, I love some organic ghee, is the fuel in butter lamps used in Hindu religious services. The Hindu's ghee symbolizes illumination and mental clarity. David Frawley points out that the word Christ, from the Greek word Christos, is related by derivation to the Sanskrit word Garita. And so the interplay between the precious child Krishna and his friends represents the relationship between God and the soul on the path of bhakti yoga, the path of union with God through love. Kinsley explains the comparison. As an infant and a child, Krishna is approachable. Particularly as an infant, Krishna is to be doted upon and coddled. He is to be approached with intimacy with which a parent approaches a child. God, revealing himself as an infant, invites man to dispense his formality and undue respect and come to him openly, delighting in him intimately. The adorable, beautiful babe, so beloved by the entire Hindu tradition, does not demand servitude, pomp, and praise when he is approached. His simplicity, charm, and infinite spontaneity invite an intimate parental response. Throughout Krishna's infancy and youth, the wicked Kamsa sends numerous demons to try to kill Krishna, but Krishna dispatches them all with playful aplomb. One of Krishna's most famous encounters in his fight with the many-headed serpent, Kaliya. Kinsley relates, Kaliya lives in a nearby stream that has poisoned its waters, caused the death of many cattle. Krishna arrives on the scene, surveys the situation, climbs into a tree and leaps into the poisonous waters, where he begins to bait the monster by swimming and playing there. The enraged Kaliya emerges from the lair beneath the waters and the battle begins. Kaliya seems to get the upper hand at first, gripping Krishna in his coils, but Krishna is only humoring him, freeing himself from the Kaliya's coils. He begins circling the demon until the serpent's head begins to droop with exhaustion. Seeing his chance, Krishna jumps on the head of the serpent and begins to dance. By rhythmically stamping his feet, Krishna tramples his enemy into submission. Battered and bloody from Krishna's dancing, Kaliya finally admits defeat, seeks refuge in Krishna's mercy. Krishna, at the pleading of Kaliya's wives, grants him his life, but banishes him to an island in the ocean. Mighty child Krishna is invincible. So Krishna and the gopis. As a youth, Krishna embodied joy, grace, and transcendent beauty that magnetize all who behold him. He plays on his flute, and the magic of its sound enchants the gopis. When the gopis hear the sound of his flute, they stop whatever they are doing and run to Krishna. The otherworldly sound of the flute even distracts the gods, says Kinsley. The whole creation can concentrate on nothing but the sound of the flute. Its sound puts an abrupt end to man's mechanical, habitual activity, as well as the predictable movements of nature. The sound of Krishna's flute is more than a melody. It is a summons, calls souls back to their Lord. The greatest love existed between Krishna and Radha, the most beautiful of the gopis. Radha is the embodiment of pure devotion and divine bliss. Krishna is everything to her. She is considered by some to be the incarnation of Lakshmi, the consort of Vishnu who vows to be with him all his incarnations. Krishna's love for the gopis and the gopis' love for him are symbolic of the divine romance between God and the soul, and the guru and the chela, just as the gopis pine for Krishna, so the soul pines for God. The later years. When Krishna became a young man, he and his brother returned to the city, killed the wicked king Kamsa. Krishna then goes to the western coast of India and establishes a fortress city at Dwarka, as is the custom of the time. He has a large harem and sires many children. At the outset of a great war, both warring factions request Krishna's aid. He lends his army to one side and serves as charioteer on the other side. Krishna is the charioteer of the great warrior Arjuna, his friend and disciple. On the eve of the battle, Krishna instructs Arjuna about the 4 paths of the union with God. The Bhagavad Gita recounts their dialogue. After the war, Krishna returns to Dwarka. One day, the people of the city take to drinking and fighting. A kind of madness overtakes them, and they slaughter each other. Krishna retreats to the forest. A huntsman mistakes him for a deer and shoots him in the heel. His only vulnerable point, Krishna dies from the wound. So Krishna and Arjuna. Bhagavad Gita means Song of God. It is written as a dialogue between Krishna and Arjuna. Krishna describes himself as the Lord of all breaths and the Lord who abides within the heart of all beings, meaning one who is in the union with God, one who has attained that union that is God. He says, when goodness grows weak, when evil increases, my spirit arises on earth. In every age I come back to deliver the holy, to destroy the sin of the sinner, to establish righteousness. Arjuna is Krishna's friend and disciple. The setting is the eve of a great battle to determine who will rule the kingdom. Krishna is to be the charioteer of Arjuna just before the battle begins. Arjuna falters because he will have to fight and kill his own kinsman. Krishna explains to Arjuna that he must enter the battle because it is his dharma, his duty, or his reason for being. He is a member of a warrior caste, and come what may, he must fight. The traditional Hindu interpretation of the battle is twofold. First, the battle represents a struggle Arjuna must engage in to fulfill his dharma and to reclaim the kingdom. Second, the battle represents the war he must wage within himself between good and evil forces, his higher and lower natures. I really like reading this because this gives you a really expanded outlook of this spiritual energy and how it very much involves light and dark, good and evil forces. And it doesn't kind of push it all to the side. It doesn't bypass that there is, different aspects of this universe that we have to interact with. And with that comes, what we call good or bad or positive or negative vibrations or energies. So what I really like about, Krishna and the Hindu teachings is that they don't shy away from understanding that there is the duality at hand and that we are the ones to ultimately be the ones to reconcile, to be able to be the warriors that do bring the balance and bring the restoration to this planet and to ourselves. So that's a really, really great to read. And this is so true. The battle is twofold. There's the battle of helping do what's right for this world and helping bring the cleanup and healing. And with that comes taking action to try to eliminate the things that are damaging us, such as trafficking, getting rid of the things like misuse of sexual energy, getting rid of the things like people acting for material over souls, things of that nature, greed. And a lot of times I find that, we begin on this spiritual path, we think that violence or, taking action to defend something or to try to eradicate and eliminate something that's very infectious and poisonous to our communities and to ourselves, we can kind of get stuck on, oh, is this bad? I'm so spiritual, I can't be violent in any type of way. Or I'm so spiritual, I can't be aggressive and assertive and assert myself, speak my voice, call out things that are damaging others and myself, protect others and be there for them. It requires a little bit of aggression. It requires a little bit of action. And sometimes you got to put people in their place, or you got to put an animal in its place, or vice versa. And it's just the ways of the universe. That's unconditional love. When you're able to have the hardest of conversations. And when you're able to really look at your own self and go through the hardest of reflections and be real about what you're doing. Do you have healthy habits? Are the things that you're consuming good for you? Are you speaking right to others? Are you speaking good to yourself? These are all things to be aware of when it comes to waging war inside of ourselves. You know, when we wage war, war stands for we all rise. So when you wage war, you're saying that I am rising into my highest self because I'm going to war with what is keeping me and keeping life out of balance so that we can bring balance back. War has been a miscued thing over time, and it's been turned into a completely barbarian type of thing. A lot of us are at war with ourselves every day, and we don't even really realize we're at war with our own self. All right, so Krishna teaches Arjuna about the 4 yogas, or paths of union with God, and says that all the yogas should be practiced. The 4 yogas are knowledge, meditation, work, and love and devotion. When we say work too, work can be, serving Reiki or holding retreats, things like that. That's considered work as well. So by self-knowledge, by meditation on the God within, by working the works of God to balance karma and increase good karma, and by giving love and devotion, we fulfill the 4 paths of the 4 lower bodies: the memory body, the mental body, the desire body, and the physical body. So now we have Christ and Krishna. So with Christ and Krishna, in the Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna says to Krishna, "If, O Lord, you think me able to behold it, reveal to me your immutable self." When Krishna reveals his divine being to Arjuna, Arjuna beholds the whole universe inside of Krishna. Based on the passage, many have concluded that Krishna is the supreme God and the supreme Lord. And of course, he is. But just as Lord Jesus never declared himself to be the exclusive Son of God, so Lord Krishna never declared himself to be the exclusive Supreme God or Supreme Lord. That's a very key point right there to make sure we understand as we move forward, is that Krishna, as well as Yeshua or Jesus, they had never once out of their own mouth ever stated that we are supposed to worship them and that we are supposed to only go through them in order to access the Creator. So this is it's becoming a very key theme as we continue to unfold these origins, to see that none of these lords, none of these beings of high light are telling us that we need to worship them, that we have to go through them. They are just simply reflections and reminders of our one consciousness to help remind us that we have the Christ energy within ourselves, and that it is up to us to activate that and to wake up to it inside of us. Wow. Because it actually brings you into an inverted and reversed path when you start to go outside of yourself in order to access the Creator. I believe that Lord Krishna unveiled himself to Arjuna as the incarnation of Vishnu, the second person of the Eastern and Western Trinity. Krishna revealed the Godhood so that all of us as Arunas, as disciples, could see the goal of our divinity before us. Truly the one who has attained union with God is become that God. There is no separation. I see our Aruna as the archetypal soul of each of us, and Krishna as the charioteer of our soul. Krishna is the one with your higher self right now, your holy Christ self. Visualize Lord Krishna in his incarnation as Vishnu, as your higher self. See him occupying the position of your holy Christ self on the chart of your divine self as the mediator between your soul and your I am presence. You're a charioteer for life. He will drive that charioteer with you there at his side, all the way back to the central sun. Lord Krishna may be thought of as your holy Krishna self, if you will. He can place his presence over each person. So here in a second, I'm going to kind of dive in real quick into what an avatar is and where a avatar lies in our universe. We've actually had a whole episode about this in the series. You guys can find it in the playlist on YouTube. So the idea is God identification. We have identified ourselves as humans. God descends into incarnation as an avatar, and so we see what was our original blueprint, what we were intended to be. How far have we strayed from this incarnation of God? What do we see in ourselves that is no longer acceptable? When we see ourselves in the mirror and look in the mirror and see Krishna, see Jesus, see Buddha, we begin to see very quickly there are things we can simply do away with. Lord Krishna can place his presence, one with your holy Christ self, multiplying himself 1,000,000,000 times 1,000,000,000. Yet there is only one Krishna, one universal Krishna consciousness. There is something you come to understand as you move into the vibration of Krishna. He is universal God consciousness as well as universal Christ consciousness. Does that mean Jesus is not? Of course not. Does that mean Gautama is not? Of course not. This is the great mystery of the breaking of the bread at the Last Supper, that each crumb and each morsel is the equivalent of the whole loaf. Our Lord and Savior, Jesus, embodies the universal Christ consciousness. So does Lord Maitreya, Lord Gautama Buddha, Lord Sanakumara, and the Yani Buddhas. Lord Krishna and Lord Jesus teach us the way of godhood and sonship, respectively. And they, with untold numbers of the heavenly host, who have realized Christ consciousness, Buddha consciousness, and Krishna consciousness, are with us every hour to show us how we can become as they are, God-free beings fulfilling our respective roles as we are part of a mystical body of God. The ascended masters and all hosts who make up the heavenly hierarchy are surely not in competition with each other, for who is greatest is the kingdom. They know that one drop in the ocean is as good as the whole ocean, and they know that God has broken the bread of life so that each one is his own time, may become the whole loaf, but never exclusively. Oh, this is awesome. We're about to talk about healing the inner child with Krishna. So, Lord Krishna, actually, before I go into the healing the inner child, let's take a look at the breakdown of what an avatar is. And like I said, I have a whole episode about what an avatar is. If you guys go into the series playlist on the YouTube channel. My mom is over here making some chocolate chip waffles for my birthday breakfast. So avatar, Sanskrit avatara, descent from avantariti. He descends from ava away. Tarati, he crosses over. The incarnation of the word, the descent or crossing over of the universal Christ from the plane of spirit to the plane of matter. So that's what an avatar is. An avatar is the blueprint vessel that basically is the seed for your individual blueprint to then go into experiences and reincarnations as that seeded blueprint of your individual soul. That's your avatar. It's your higher self. That's why they were talking about Krishna being that mediary higher self for you, if you wanted to acknowledge Krishna in that way. Same as Jesus. They act as a mediary between the heavenly planes and the material planes. And that's why they're called an avatar, because they're in that embodiment and they stay in that embodiment. So then the avatar of an age. The avatar of an age is the Christ, the incarnation of the Son of God, Vishnu, the second person of the Trinity. The avatar with his divine complement, Shakti or twin flame, outpictures and outplays in consciousness and in four lower bodies the archetypal pattern of the Father, Mother, God for the evolutions of souls in a 2,000-year cycle. So example, we just went over this couple, Mary Magdalene and Yeshua, twin flames that outpicture and outplay in consciousness. The principal avatars of an age are two in number, the masculine and feminine prototypes, who embody and show by their example the path of initiation designed by the solar hierarchies responsible for the light waves moving toward the center of the cosmic Christ. Through the open door, according to mankind's karma, the evolutionary status quo of the children of God, and the requirements of the logos, the manus, may designate numerous Christed ones, those endued with an extraordinary light, to go forth as world teachers and way showers. The Christed ones demonstrate in a given epoch the laws of the logos, step down through the manus and the avatars until it is made flesh through their own word and work, to be ultimately victorious in its fulfillment in all souls of light sent forth to conquer time and space in that area. And then lastly here, the avatar of the Aquarian age. So Saint Germain said, "And therefore I am Saint Germain, messenger of Saint Kamara unto the Aquarian age. Therefore I am Saint Germain, avatara of this age, initiating all people of light in the way of transmutation, in the way of the sacred fires of the Holy Spirit, that are indeed for the judgment and all the consuming fire that shall truly cause the greatest changes in the history of this planet that have been known since her inception in the mind of God." Wow, good stuff. So that is an avatar. And then real quick, I'll show you guys a little diagram of the universal time matrix in the avatar. If you guys have any comments or any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments. If you guys have any questions about going through your personal healing journey, or you need some guidance, feel free to drop it as well. All right, so here is the 12-dimensional universal time matrix map. Well, it's really 15-dimensional. But once we get to the 12th dimension here, though, you can see from this map and diagram that there is this Star of David looking symbol, which is far more than the Star of David. It is the symbol of above and below put together, you know, Mother, Father, heaven and earth, and that we are the vehicle of that, which then turns into a Merkaba. So you can see here D12, dimension 12, and it says Christo's avatar right next to it, the Nirvana mind. Then it also says dimension 12, divine blueprint. So this is telling you from this chart and mapping that at the 12th dimension, which is said to be the first dimension where we begin to assimilate a form from pure sound and light, this is where the avatar is formed. It's the first conception of the word for our own individual divine blueprint. So it's basically the first conception. It's your original blueprint. It's your higher self that never changes throughout all of eternity. So you get this Christed avatar self, and then for eternity, with your own authentic and signature blueprint, you get to manifest yourself at your own free will with different type of universal laws, constructs, and contracts to be able to incarnate, descend, and experience through all of these dimensions below the 12 at your own will, while also understanding the laws and mechanics of this universe, and that you have to abide by them because you are them as you descend into them. That's why we learn about the universal laws and where we are and why we're in this, so we can know how to use our free will to be able to navigate in a conscious way through this universe. All right. So let's go ahead and watch a little video. And this video is going to be about Krishna still. So this can be a little bit more like a summary and recap of what we read over. And of course, anything else that applies when it comes to the overall origin and archetype of Krishna.
The Shavatar represents the 10 different incarnations of Vishnu which were taken to save the earth and its living beings from destruction. This video will narrate to you the story of the 8th incarnation of Vishnu. To know all about the 10 different avatars of Vishnu, watch the playlist linked in the comments below. The 8th incarnation of Vishnu is often debated to be between Krishna and his elder brother Balaram. But because Balaram is an incarnation of Adi Shesha, the serpent of Vishnu, Krishna is collectively accepted as the 8th incarnation of Vishnu. Krishna, one of the most widely popular of all the Indian divinities, became the focus of numerous bhakti cults, which have over the centuries produced a wealth of religious poetry, music, and painting. The basic sources of Krishna's stories is from the epic Mahabharata and Bhagavad Puran. To know the various stories from Mahabharata, watch the playlist linked in the comments below. There came a time when Mother Earth was unable to bear the sins and cruelty committed by evil kings and rulers. Mother Earth then prayed to Lord Brahma, the creator of the universe, to relieve her from the sinful kings. Brahma prayed to the Supreme Lord Vishnu for his reincarnation and to relieve earth from those evil rulers. Kans, the ruler of Mathura, was one such evil king. He had a sister named Devaki who was married to Vasudev. The day Devaki and Vasudev got married, a voice from the sky forecasted that Devaki's 8th son will bring an end to Kansa's rule and will kill him. A frightened Kans held the couple captive. He then vowed that he will kill every child of Devaki and Vasudev. Seeing their first 7 children being killed by the cruel Kans, the imprisoned couple feared giving birth to their 8th child. One night, Lord Vishnu appeared before them. He told them that as their son, he will return and rescue them from Kansa's evil deeds. The divine baby was born, and the day he was born, Vasudev found himself magically freed from the prison. In a subconscious state of mind, he took the baby away from the prison and placed him into a safer place. Vasudev reached a house in Gokul, exchanged Lord Krishna with a newborn girl of Nand and Yashoda, and returned to prison with the girl child. Meanwhile, Krishna was raised as a cowherd in Gokul. Childhood of Lord Krishna is filled with stories of his mischievous pranks and incidents that depict his divine nature. According to a popular story, Krishna carried off a gigantic serpent Kalia from the river to the sea. Sri Krishna also raised Mount Govardhan with his little finger and kept it as an umbrella to shield Vrindavan's people from the torrential rain caused by Lord Indra, who was irritated by Krishna. During his boyhood, due to unexpected turn of events, the news confirming that Krishna was indeed the son of Devaki and Vasudeva broke out, and Krishna had to leave to Mathura, leaving behind his other family of Nand and Yashoda. After many years, considering the kingdom dangerous, he led the Yadavas to Kathiawar's west coast and set up his court in Dwarika. He married a beautiful princess from the Vidarbha kingdom named Rukmini. Lord Krishna married 7 other wives: Satyabhama, Jambavati, Kalindi, Nagnajiti, Mitravinda, Lakshmana, and Bhadra. Krishna is also famous for having 16,000 wives. To know about the story in full detail, click on the link above. Sri Krishna became a counselor and a friend to Pandava Prince Arjuna. In the great war of Kurukshetra between the Kauravas and Pandavas, Krishna declined to bear arms. Still, he agreed to be present on one side of the army. To avoid any kind of war between the cousins, Krishna requested Kauravas to give a small amount of land to the Pandavas. Duryodhana, however, opposed any compromise. Krishna gave his dearest friend Arjuna a choice once the war became inevitable. Either he could choose Krishna himself, or he could choose the armies of Krishna. Arjuna preferred Sri Krishna's presence instead of his troops, while Duryodhana chose the Narayani Sena or the army of Krishna. As the war began, Arjuna was moved by the thought of killing his family members and put down his weapon. Lord Krishna then advised him about the battle and its repercussions, karma, the purpose of life and death, and the power of dharma. Sri Krishna also revealed his universal form, known as the Vishwaroop, to Arjuna, showing Arjuna his full spiritual realization. After this, Arjuna, an admirer and relative of Sri Krishna, became his disciple. Sri Krishna represents all of the human and spiritual elements. He played a human role as an avatar, but at the same time, he was a fully realized spirit. Krishna met Gandhari after the battle of Kurukshetra was over to give her condolences, as the Pandavas had won the battle and Gandhari had lost her 100 sons to death. Gandhari, in her rage, aggressively came up to Lord Krishna and poured her anger on him. According to her, the mass killing and the war could have been avoided by Krishna, but he did not. Her grief turned into vengeance, and she cursed Krishna that if her devotion towards Shiva was pure and if she was true to her husband all her life, then 36 years from that day, Krishna would die. His kingdom Dwarika would be flooded and the entire clan of Sri Krishna will be destroyed, the same way he made the Kauravas reach death. 36 years later, Gandhari's curse came true. Dwarika was consumed by the Arabian Sea. The Yadava race went extinct. Lord Krishna and Balaram had left the mortal world. Kali Yuga had arrived. The Pandavas felt that there was no purpose left for their existence. To know the full story about the end of Krishna Avatar and the extinction of Yadava clan, watch the video linked above and in the comments below.
All right. So that is Krishna. Krishna. So check this out. I'm gonna give you guys a little insight to a palace that you can go to in West Virginia. It's called the Palace of Gold. And myself and my partner, we went to the Palace of Gold early last year. And Wow, it is just so beautiful and wondrous, and it's very affordable to go visit. It's in West Virginia, and it's this big old palace made of marble and gold and beautiful material. And it's also a Krishna community, so they do free lunches for the public that come through. They do different type of, education spaces. Um, I don't want to say church spaces, but temple spaces, and all sorts of different activities for the community as well. So check this out. It's pretty cool.
The hills of West Virginia might seem an unlikely place for a Hare Krishna colony, but there it is, New Vrindavan, home to about 200 ponytails and the magnificent Palace of Gold. Hello.
My name is Vrindavan Das. Very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Now,
This community is called New Vrindavan. It was named after a holy city in Vrindavan. Just like in America, you have New England and Newark. Srila Prabhupada came from India. He came to America in 1965 at the age of 70 and then established International Society for Krishna Consciousness, which is also known as the Hare Krishna movement.
they built this whole place for him, didn't they? But he didn't live to actually reside in the palace.
Yes, the origin the palace was meant to be housed for him. Then later on, when departed, his disciples, followers decided to make a memorials for him.
And this is the temple here.
This is our main temple. And as you can see, we have 3 different altars, beautiful altars.
Who is this fascinating looking figure?
Narsimha Dev. Actually, Simha means lion and Nar means human. So it's like half human, half lion. He looks very ferocious, but he has a very kind heart.
He's friendly.
He's very friendly.
We have nothing to fear. And look, he's got his own fan.
Yes, he does.
And I see they've got a fan over here for these people too. Who are they?
These are Radha and Krishna.
And this guy.
Krishna himself in a different form. God can manifest any forms he desires. As you can see, this man in the middle, his name is Krishna. He's holding a mountain with his finger. So
That's better than the Harlem Globetrotters with a basketball. He's got a mountain.
yeah, he's holding a mountain. That shows he's God. God can hold a mountain with his finger. One of the definitions of God, something beyond our thinking, some infinite, unlimited.
You're saying my head might explode.
Indeed.
What is the significance of the face paint? What
It's
does this
called
mean?
tilak. It's a secret clay we use to mark our body to say this is the temple of God.
What's happening now?
Now, what are you going to do? It's called arati, meaning we're going to offer different items to their lordships. We're offering food now to the deities.
It looks like he's got quite a basket of food here for
Yeah,
the
different
deities.
foods. Yes. Our service starts at 5 a.m. in the morning. And it
I'll have to miss that one. Is there a later one?
Yes, we also have service at 7:30.
Still too early. 12:30. Now you're talking.
We have 4:30 just now happening. Then you have 7 in the evening and 8:30 in the evening.
What's going on now?
Now he's offering blessings to the participants, those who came to worship. So
I see. Oh. Thank you. How long does this service actually last?
this service is going to last about 5 minutes.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah, 5 minutes.
I tell you what, that's better than Catholic Mass. You know? You're in and out of here.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hey, welcome to the palace.
What is your name?
My name is Sadaruchi Das.
Sadaruchi Das. This is an amazing place. What, pray tell, is this room?
This is the meditation hall, and it's also a shrine dedicated to the founder of the Hare Krishna movement. It was started in 1973, built entirely by his disciples, and most of them were unexperienced in their construction.
It doesn't look like it. It looks pretty fantastic.
It is. Actually, it took 7 years to complete it.
How much money, can I ask you that?
You can't really put a price tag on the palace. Total, they spent about $450,000 on materials, but if you add up all the man hours and the labor, that would probably be 10 times more than that.
It's got to be a lot to upkeep, too. And I noticed some places are a little gone to seed.
It's kind of overwhelming because we don't have the workforce that we did back in the 70s.
Even the hallways are spectacular, aren't they?
Oh yeah. And the chandeliers, no two are the same.
Are peacocks and elephants important to the Hare Krishna religion? Because I see a lot of them.
Well, the peacocks are significant because it's Krishna's favorite bird. This is a significant picture of the changing bodies. The body's always changing, the soul remains the same.
Starts with a fetus, goes all the way around to the skeleton.
This is the study. Prabhupada is sitting here at his desk writing a famous letter written back in 1966. These are all his books that you see on the bookshelves.
Many Krishnas have the bald head and the ponytail. You just have the ponytail. You didn't go for the bald head, huh?
It just costs too much to maintain buying razor blades all the time to shave my head. The devotees, they have what is called a sika, the tuft of hair in the back, and that's so Krishna can reach down and pull us out of the material world.
Ah,
So it's like a handle that Krishna can.
I see.
You're in Prabhupada's bedroom, and notice the ceiling. It's all hand painted. Over top, the gold leaf. And this is a world famous painting that you see on the wall too. Krishna is always watching us. So any part of the room that you're standing in, you'll see Krishna's eyes actually follow you.
And wherever I go, I look at him.
Well, the master bathroom. And you have an antique Spanish mirror that dates back to the 18th century. And the toilet bowl actually matches the sink with the marble. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Sadaruchi, if somebody wants to visit the Palace of Gold, where should they go?
Well, they just find Moundsville, West Virginia, and we're only 15 miles away from there.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
All right. So that's the Palace of Gold. I highly recommend checking it out in West Virginia. Very affordable trip and very easy to get to as well. So just check it out anytime if you just want to be open to a beautiful community that is just abundant and loves to celebrate and enjoy life. And the palace itself is just so monumentous to experience and be a part of as well. All right. So let's go ahead and go back into our text study and finish it up for Krishna. And then we'll close out with a pretty cool light activation that's going to have Krishna and Merlin as well. So healing the inner child is where we left off. So Lord Krishna has pledged to help heal the inner child as we sing mantras and bhanas to him. His request is to visualize his presence over you at the age when you experience any emotional trauma, physical pain, mental pain from this or a previous lifetime. You can ask for these events in your life to pass before your third eye, like slides moving across a screen, or even a motion picture. Assess the age you were at the moment of the trauma, then visualize Lord Krishna at that age, 6 months old, 6 years old, 12 years old, 15, 50, and see him standing over you and over the entire situation. I think I'm gonna have a new workshop to introduce to people, a Krishna inner child healing. If there are other figures in this scene through whom the pain has come, see the presence of Lord Krishna around them also. Give the devotional mantra and song until you are pouring such love to Krishna that he is taking your love, multiplying it through your heart, passing it back through you, and transmuting the scene and that record. I'm gonna read that one more time. I wasn't very clear. So you give the devotional mantra and song until you are pouring such love to Lord Krishna that he is taking your love, multiplying it through his heart and passing it back through you and transmuting that scene and that record as a way to reprogram. If you see Lord Krishna superimposed over every party to the problem, to the anger, to the burden, you can understand that you can affirm in your heart that there really is no reality but God. Only God is real, and God is placing his presence over this situation through the personification of himself in Lord Krishna. That's the journey right there. That's the human journey, is realizing that we are one with the Creator. And sometimes we got to go through some valleys and peaks to get into that awareness. Wow. And then there's some references and sources for you guys. And of course, you can always read the Bhagavad Gita as well, which I actually read a little bit of the Bhagavad Gita for the first time, actually, in 2017, while I was incarcerated in prison. That was when I actually read a little bit of that sacred text. And I remember actually the full vision of it, sitting on my military style lockbox next to my rack in the prison I was in, sitting next to my bunkie who was sitting on his bed. He was from Arizona, called him AZ. And yeah, we just connected so well. And he had the Bhagavad Gita, and he asked me if I would read it and translate it to him in a more, I guess, normal understanding, so to say. And I ended up doing that for him, and it was just such a beautiful connection and experience to read some of the Bhagavad Gita, but also translate it for someone else in a place like prison, where we're really in darkness. And then on top of that, I ended up teaching like 10 different inmates meditation, chakra balancing, and breath work as well. And prison ended up becoming one of my greatest catalysts to my awakening and into my higher purpose. So just keep in mind too, just like Krishna, you know, carry that inner child, carry that innocence, carry that true passion of love that you have for life, and embody that no matter where you go, no matter how dark, no matter how light. Try to hold that frequency, you know, hold that authenticity, and you'll be surprised the kind of pillar and the kind of bridge you can be, not just for yourself, but for others that you may not even think could use you as a bridge to reach their higher consciousness. Such a beautiful thing. Really grateful for that. You guys can read that text on your own by going to Ascended Master Encyclopedia or tsl.com. And as we wrap up today, this beautiful episode about Krishna, we're going to close out with a 4-minute light language activation song. And this can be Krishna as well as Merlin for neutralizing galactic implants. All right. So go ahead and get yourself comfortable. Maybe burn some sage, Palo Santo, grab any crystals that you would like. Good crystals for Krishna, I would say labradorite, lapis lazuli, amethyst, selenite. I'd say like a clear quartz, or also like a celestite or angelite as well. So if you guys want to grab those, feel free. Get yourselves relaxed. You guys can sit, lay down, be in motion, whatever you feel. It's just all about opening the mind and opening the heart to receiving the energy. So I'm going to give you guys 44 seconds, and we'll be back.
This is a light language activation for the release of any etheric implants in your field and returning to your original, glorious, sovereign self. Hayanasa, yanasa, yanasa. Haya ho, haya ho, hey, hey, lahu. Hanasai asarasanatai anasa. With ease and grace, shedding what is no longer required, that you may have consciously or unconsciously carried with you. Nasaranatu kunoshu inarana sulahana sha'atasa yanasana lana shanaka. It is time to neutralize any energies, any projections, any implants. Everything that is misaligned is now being returned back to source through your divine will. Yanashuna rakunasha, for you remember now in your heart that you are a sovereign being. Yanalana shunuku, and you don't need to be a part of any creation. Yalahunu shunu tukuranasa, that you don't. Yalana shuunu shunuku, consent. Yana shunukulanaka, any conscious unconscious consent given to any energies that don't belong to you. Yanashurunu kulunuku, any implants or tools that you have carried consciously or unconsciously, where there has been some sort of unconscious consent. Yalana shunu rukura nashuna tana sanaka, ahana saranasha alanasha anasaya nasaya, yahalana shanasa. With the assistance of Merlin, Alana Shi'aro Otoro Otohino Kuro Saolo no Shu'ui Dakanoro Shi'uturo no Shuina Casa, with joy, with strength, with sovereignty, with the assistance of Krishna. Iyalahanasha Nasuro Niasu Yanashu Oro no Shui Tuku. You are beginning to know thyself, beautiful one. Yashianaruku Rasahina Sara Analanaka. Release and surrender all that which does not belong to you. Nasiaraka, and all that which you don't understand. Safely to your higher self, safely to Merlin, safely to Krishna. Yanashu O Torono Shanaka. And as they collect this, they give you what is in your highest alignment, and your Taurus field is strengthening. Your energies in all dimensions are aligning more and more and more, lesser and lesser distortions, so you may fully feel your sovereign self, and any effect of anything that is not a part of your creation is now being returned back to source. Yanashuru no kulanaka. You are safe, you are empowered, and fully in love and sovereignty of your creation. As the great I am, all the versions of you that are aware and bringing to you the grand design. Yanashu Oronotu Inalakanasha, with great humor, balance, love, and sovereignty. We are now complete, beautiful one. Aisha.
Ashe. All right. This brings us to our wrap up. You guys know the deal. You guys can hit the QR code up on the corner. You go to the website in the ticker or in the description to reach out for any one-on-one shamanic and holistic services through myself, online or in person. I'm local in Ohio, but I do travel. And then also too, you guys can find the retreat signups that are available. And then you guys can purchase organic reishi coffee as well. And then connect with the Sacred Kingdom worldwide community full of practitioners, artists, and product makers available for you. So just check out the QR code. All right, y'all. I will see you guys tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern, for the next episode. And as we close out this episode and get ready for the next episode, I got to say, hey, 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 smoke weed every day. Till the next episode, light one for me on my birthday today. See you guys.
Eyes closed, floating on a lake, sound vibrating through your bones. This is Summer Solstice. Hosted by Sacred Kingdom Community, the Summer Solstice 26 Ascended Masters Retreat is an intentional healing of the divine masculine, balanced with the feminine, to honor Father's Day weekend. 4 days of embodied teachings, ceremonies, and live music in Ohio's Zaleski State Forest at Lake Hope, camping under the canopy, vegetarian brunches and dinners included, a sober, safe container to be vulnerable, supported, and real. Guided by shamanic space holder and producer ChristoLight of Sacred Light Healing and Wellness Sharing Cacao, Galactic Pioneer Wisdom, and more. Sacred Space Holders. Priestess Jessie of Sacred Phoenix Sisterhood Circle leads ecstatic dance. Kat of Kat's Treasure Tree journeys into shadow with an Anubis obsidian aerospace. Kirsten of Mama K's Creations teaches dreamcatcher weaving. Twin Moon Sisters Cheyenne and Victoria offer a floating sound bath on the lake. More sacred spaces to be announced. Live music by Aura de Prophet, Evan Sturgeon, and Cricket de Gift. Bring a kayak, paddleboard, or floaty for the lake, and free time to drift whenever you feel. June 1922, 2026. Ages 12 plus with adult. No drugs or alcohol. Tickets, $99 for a single day without stay, or $333 for all 3 days with stay. Register via the Jotform link or QR code, or email marcustut23@gmail.com with questions. Come meet your tribe.
The mind's eye, it's in these times we know we're never alone. Where there's a will, where there's a will, there's a way, there's a way. Yeah, the change runs coming is here today.
We coasting with potion, high five to the ground, bitch, we chosen. Silly, got the flow like the ocean, can escape when your brain is eroded. We got that light, chakras hella bright. Check my triple sight. Yeah, you know we consciously. We got that light, chakras hella bright. Check my triple sight. It has been written that we are ascending, 'cause we're the descendants of the source of all existence. Yeah, it has been written that we are ascending, 'cause we're the descendants